Hush.
All right.
Pipe down, y'all.
Ready to go. Wow, you really piped down. I didn't expect it to work.
She's dancing again.
Okay.
All righty, you guys ready?
Yep. I'm as ready as I'll ever be, which is not good.
And Chris, you're just a reminder, you're saying this is Roundabout.
Yes.
And does he need to be closer to the mic, or is that good, Ben?
That's good.
All right. Here we go.
He says without listening to it first. No, it's good. I listened earlier.
Right. Here we go. Coming up on Roundabout, plastic is a part of just about every product on the market today, but one guy is fixing to use it somewhere it's never gone before. An automotive legend is putting his name on some very unlikely vehicles, and someone's destroyed their brand new Chevy Camaro, but made it a whole lot better in the process. Find out how right after this. Roundabout is sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. Visit our website, roundaboutshow.com, to get up to $30 off your next purchase. And by Tire Rack. Follow the link on our website to save up to $80.
Go, Michelle. You're
in
muted.
Irvine, California. No, I'm not.
Okay, look, your mouth moved before your voice came out. Sorry.
There's a delay.
All
Is
right.
she a mute?
Whenever you're ready. We'll all be quiet.
Market
And
time.
now, when you're ready.
In Irvine, California, from Auto by Tel, I'm Michelle Naranjo.
In the Roundabout Studios from the Virtual Driver, I'm Christopher Sawyer.
I'm Eric Tritko from RumbleStrip.net.
From the Autoline family of fine programs, I'm your host, Craig Cole.
And I'm producer Ben Sanders.
This is Roundabout.
Hello and welcome to Roundabout, episode number 82, our weekly chat covering car culture, vehicle reviews, and some of the auto news you may have missed.
Welcome, everyone. Here we are again, sacrificing another Friday evening at the altar of Roundabout for your listening enjoyment. And Ben, I've got to say, that is a very catchy tune you have dug up.
Oh, why, thanks.
I just realized that after 82 episodes. Could I
it's
get a copy to put on my Microsoft Zune?
I'll give you two.
Really?
But
that'd be piracy. We can't
I
do
have
that.
to pay you twice.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
Well,
Oh, I thought it was rights free.
you never know these days. If you go on the internet, I understand it is. You know, you can. There's a virtual store or something
Everything's free.
called the
on the
Pirate Valley.
The Pirate
The
Cove.
Yes. Yeah, you can go there, and I understand that people will allow you access to things. The way I
Really?
understand it works, the tubes are all directed around, and they can funnel the contents to certain places.
It's a series of tubes.
This internet stuff is really.
Have those
gets to me.
tubes been tied yet?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Tubes have been
if the
tied.
Department of Justice gets its hands on things, yeah.
Exactly.
So, well, speaking of getting your hands on things and screwing things up with legal regards, our theme this week is taking a stand, standing up and fighting for what's right.
Oh, damn it. I'm too tired to fight.
Well, have another bag of Oots chips or Utz, whatever it is,
Speaking of fighting for your rights, have you seen the new Beastie Boys video?
for your rights to party.
They've got, I can't think, Will Ferrell, the guy who played like Frodo, the Hobbit, like two other people, and they dress up to look like the Beastie Boys from the '80s, and it's pretty cool. Like you look for a while, and you're like, wow. Then there's a couple close-up shots, and you go, oh, okay, that's not them. And like they look pretty young for being in their like 40s and 50s. And at the end, this DeLorean comes in. And they all come out of the DeLorean. It's an awesome. The song's pretty good, but the video is truly
have to look
truly
for that
well
one.
done.
That's awesome, yeah. So we've got, as always, just an all-star lineup of panelists joining us this week, and our special guest is none other than Mr. Chris Sawyer. This is your multiple-th time returning
Yes, multiple lists.
of internet fame, I understand.
Yes, but usually on the FBI list.
Oh. were you caught by that Catch a Predator guy? What's his name? I can't remember.
Chris Matthews.
Yes.
No,
Were you hanging out at the middle
No,
school again,
uh,
Chris?
Chris,
It's okay if you
some other
were.
Chris.
Yeah, it was some other Chris, but it was, yeah.
It's already public knowledge if you were. So
No, I'm not on that website. Besides that there was a great South Park episode when they did that one. Oh no, it's him!
So we appreciate you bringing your bucket loads of expertise And
Oh, it's a
He brought
bucket
a
load.
bucket.
well, bucket loads, and you know,
$10
decade after
bucket at the
decade after
Colonel?
decade of experience covering this industry.
Decade after decade after. Well, yeah, it is almost
After
30 years.
decade after decade.
you-
How old is he?
Well, Michelle, he was covering this
I'll
business
be-
during the Depression, I
I'll
think.
be 53 in August.
Oh dear.
I'm almost as old as my teeth.
Jonathan Winters is on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Ma frickert.
Well, what was it? What was the auto business like during the Great Depression?
Oh, it was fun. Nobody was doing nothing. We were
Easy street.
trying to work our way out of this bad hole we were in. Car
Did you-
companies were going right and left, sort of like Chrysler and GM. and we just had a fun time
In the Hooverville, right?
in Hooverville, yes.
All right. well,
Exactly.
not the vacuum cleaner either.
No,
No.
no.
Well, Mr. Sawyer, you've got our first story in the rundown here, and this was a certain gentleman that was recently apprehended of sorts.
If you can call killed apprehended.
That was trying to be.
Double tapped, I think, is the proper term.
One between the eyes, one in the chest.
That's right.
Well, you
right.
got to do it
Sorry,
right.
knock twice.
So he wa-
By the way, that was the most epic tweet. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh yeah, no. There was a tweet like someone has a joke Osama bin Laden thing,
Right.
And it said, "Hold on, someone's at the door. I'll be right back."
And the person who tweeted it was a retweet, right? And wasn't it U.S. Navy SEALs?
Yeah. It was that came up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that was the best."
And and he just wasn't listening to that Tony Orlando song not 3 times.
so a certain gentleman was
Yes,
recently passed.
Mr. Bin Laden, he's it's funny they do call it wet work. Now he is wet, isn't he? But anyway, he rejected a plan.
But he was standing up for his right to kill.
Well, exactly his right
To maim.
to kill the infidels, which is
But within reason. Let's not get out of hand. Right?
Well, I don't know. I think he wanted to kill us all, except for all of the women who were in the porn that they just found in his stack of stuff this morning. But anyway,
Well,
in fact, the thing that was
lost
really
Michelle.
funny about that,
either that or she fell out
Michelle
of her chair
fell
again.
out of her chair. Oh my!
That's
God.
the problem with those ball chairs.
That's right.
And whiskey. So, Chris. She missed
He
it all.
wanted-
That's for the better.
Al Qaeda.
Is that like Al Vinokur?
No, it's sort of like Al Jazeera Mitsubishi in New Jersey, but it's they wanted to create trucks that would mow down civilians. I mean, it seems like such a stunningly bizarre plan when you consider that all they have to do is get the mailing list for the AARP and sign those people up. They're already mowing
driving through
them
markets,
down.
right, and
Exactly.
crashing into coffee shops.
They can't figure out which is the throttle and which is the brake to begin with.
Well, if they had a
They're-
clutch, it would just be total
Exactly.
pandemonium.
But the problem was they couldn't get them because they wanted it to be trucks. And these people invariably are mowing down folks in 87 to 92 Cadillac DeVilles. And I'm sorry, it just proves that Al Qaeda is not terribly bright. You've got to get an old rear drive, big ass
Body
American
on
car,
frame.
Body on frame.
Fly under the radar, first
Exactly.
of all.
No one will expect you to become
75 Impala.
Oh no, that'd be a good one. And and you could get even better. You could put the spinner hubcaps on it, so that you could at least do some damage while you're at it.
So, okay, let's go around the horn here. What they were talking about adding certain implements to these vehicles to as a multiplier, as you were, of
Force multiplier. I
exactly.
guess would be the
So,
way to put it.
what are some attachments, accoutrements you guys would affix to the front of a vehicle as to do maximum damage? If you were plowing through, let's say, a farmer's market on a busy Saturday.
Simple. 2-stage snow thrower. Or one of those DR chipper shredders. As long as it's a Steve Buscemi edition from.
Eric, you've got anything?
I was like a wheat thrash, like an
Oh.
old style wheat thrasher thing
Or
attached.
scythes.
Yeah,
Those would be good too.
Oh,
Just cut people off. Cut me off at the knees, I guess.
Although all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I'm thinking I'm inspired by like death race vehicles.
Oh yes.
Like and I'm talking original Death Race 2000.
Oh, now there's a classic.
Those things those spikes that would come out of the hubs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Grease.
What about you, Michelle? I mean, you've got to have some favorite torture devices.
Well, I would think, if you're an
that it is the
OCD
weekend.
kind of evil, then maybe you want to try to keep things clean. So one of those front bag catchers, right? Like on the Husqvarna ones.
So the chipper, the shredder vac with the bin on the back or
So
something.
you want to be environmental about it and clean
Well,
up
she's
your
going to
mess.
compost.
No, exactly.
Well, at this point, don't you just get a combine or something? I mean, seriously, if you really want to do maximum damage,
Absolutely.
just get a big combine.
Especially when you've got those triangular things in the front that are just bringing people right into
exactly.
the
The slicer
shredding part.
mechanism.
Exactly.
What about a hay baler, maybe, so it's easy to stack?
Exactly.
This is taking a turn for the worse.
Tie them up in twine.
Yeah, nice and
Put them
tiny.
at the side of the road.
So they were considering doing this legitimately.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been
But they
looking
didn't.
at. Thank God for that. I mean, but think
Wouldn't
of it
it
this
be
way: it actually might have been a good thing in that it would have been a way to get truck sales going again.
Or it would have been a way to find the terrorist, somebody driving over the truck with a bunch of crap welded on it.
Pull them over for.
But-
I'm sorry, sir. You cannot have those lights underneath the car.
No. But they didn't do it.
No.
So why was that?
I think, quite honestly, that somebody just said, "What are we crazy?" It becomes a little
It's
unwieldy.
pushing it a little too far, too,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
and and people
Death.
would see you coming, but especially
it's
if
Death to the infidels, but in moderation.
It's just,
Exactly.
it's just easier to strap 5 pounds of C4 around your chest and walk
much,
into a
much
mall.
easier, and you don't have to do that whole thing from Animal House of driving down the road with the parade float, and it suddenly breaks open and becomes the Deathmobile, and has "Bite Me" on the side of it. I mean, people would probably be put off by the Arabic lettering, going, "What's that?"
Looks like scribbles. Yeah. Well, standing up for your right to use plastic, Eric, there's a gentleman that is
A
doing just
completely
that.
different note.
Shifting gears.
Well, we're not using the clutch. Yeah. What's that?
I have 2 feet. There are 3 pedals. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's not working.
You're asking me to do too much.
Right. So
Is this just a bunch of muckety muck from those Washington and Hightower dwellers with their lily white hands?
well, what's funny is what's old is new again, because I remember being in 7th grade in 1982, I think, and on the cover, not in this particular link you had, but in one that was on the Auto Blogs this week, it had the cover of the Popular Science or whatever, and it showed the yellow plastic engine that was originally designed in the late 70s, early 80s, based off a Pinto engine that was all plastic, and I think it used ceramic liners or something in it. And it ran and made power, and it was kind of cool.
And
it was
vibrated itself apart.
No, actually,
No, it was pretty solid.
Stayed together, but if I remember
Melted.
correctly, no. There was it was called the poly motor, I think,
Something like that, yeah.
and-
Did it have a parrot on the side?
Well, it was
a motor. Yeah.
it was yellow.
Yeah.
It was yellow.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, it was an awful lot lighter. But they had cooling problems
Yep.
because they hadn't planned on the fact that plastic changes its
Oh.
size of the openings when it gets hot.
Yes.
Yeah, how do you deal with thermal expansion? Because plastic kind of grows a lot. There's got to be a big
Anybody
tolerance.
who left that plastic fork in the dishwasher knows what happens there.
Gets arthritis on the
yeah,
tines.
Exactly.
But I mean, in the early 80s, similar today, gas prices were very high, and everyone thought oil was going to run out tomorrow, and the economy was in the crapper, and wow.
Deja vu.
Yeah, like, wow.
The only thing missing is that peanut farmer who was the president. Well,
Yeah.
So
And he was the
plastic
only one who had
engine
and I remember Jimmy Carter being president. Very, very few good things to say about it, even though I was about 6 at the time. But it's amazing. The one
He
good
probably
idea.
had horrible things to say when he was 6. Eric,
But the one good idea he had, which was like a competent energy policy looking forward.
that wouldn't be an American.
Yeah, I know.
Freedom is American. That's
planning
why.
forward.
I know.
planning.
So anyway,
No,
so
thank you.
back to the topic at hand. So, anyways,
Carbon fiber.
where everyone's trying to save weight on cars and vehicles and trying to cut weight out, this idea has come back about engine blocks. And, well, certainly aluminum is better than cast iron of weight. although it's 3 times more expensive. So we're looking at, well, how can we make it lighter? Well, they're coming away with merging now, especially with modern chemistry and what you can do with carbon fiber and plastics and other polymers, a way of solving some of the problems from the 80s with the expansion, with coming out with a plastic-ish engine block that is, I think they said 18 to 20 pounds lighter than the Ford Duratec all aluminum. Which
that's not much of a say, but for race applications, I would understand. Yes, but for like a street car, big deal. Okay, maybe a Miata could benefit.
Well,
but
no, actually,
20 pounds.
The multiplier at that point, especially for an engine and transmission unit, is for every pound you would take out of there, you could probably take another 2 pounds out of the structure itself.
Yep.
Okay.
Just think about what Hyundai was able to do with the Sonata, Kia Optima. By only having a 4-cylinder, they were probably able to take 150 to 200 pounds out of the car. So same kind of concept. There's only one small problem with this at this point.
It's really pricey.
Just a bit. Where's the number down here? It would say $2,500 a pound in saving. Yeah. So Now, granted, that's like a one-off or two-off thing. When you start producing 100,000, obviously.
Yeah, we get that down to at least 1,500.
But if you're into racing and you see the difference, like if I wanted to buy a small block Ford engine block for either 302 or 351, if I wanted the cast iron one, it's about $2,200 to $2,400 for cast iron.
Modular.
No. If you wanted the aluminum version of that, it's just shy of $5,000.
Right.
So this one,
when you think of the fact that when I was on a Ford program and the chief engineer on the new 5-liter told me that a friend of mine who is an engineer for a specialty manufacturer and needs a new motor for the car says, "Oh yeah, we'll sell them that and the transmission for $7,000." You start to say, God, that's cheap.
For the new 5.0?
The new 5.0.
Yeah,
that's a great engine, though.
Yeah,
Why so cheap?
The new one is good. You can buy out of the Ford catalog at MSR. Their MSRP is $6,500 for the for the Coyote 5.0 motor. If you want the engine harness, it's another $1,000. They get a bit of a premium for the Boss engine, though.
Well, yeah, they've done
CNC'd heads, different valves, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, the thing, though, is that the head,
still,
that's like $800
you think of that,
a CNC.
and even the Boss motor and what it went into it, and the race motors that you can get, then you look at this thing and you go, we got a little work to do here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
and it's
cool idea. I mean, I like it, but it's
But the thing I always thought was funny about Matty Holzberger and the plastic motor was that the plastic is made out of oil. So if we're running out of oil, which I don't think we are anyway, but let's say we are, we're going to make an engine out of oil to save oil.
Well, it's not entirely oil. Let's forget this does have metal parts in there for the crankcase to support.
The old Johnson administration, we had to destroy the village to save it sort of idea. So
yes. Well, fascinating. We'll see where this goes in the next 50 years. But it seems a little pie in the sky right now, especially at $2,500 a pound. So.
Yeah, and
I'll take aluminum.
It's like they said in that famous 1969 movie, "Plastics, it's the future."
Exactly.
I like how their list, though, of the milestones in plastic history changed completely to be about company in 1990.
It's all about writing history to suit yourself.
Exactly.
Well, standing up for your right to have bad taste, Autoholics, powered by Car Domain, says so right there on my screen. A gentleman acquired himself a new Chevrolet, presumably to see the USA in, but a new Camaro, and he proceeded to, in my opinion, ruin the car by rat rotting it.
Why?
Why did he do that?
Why?
Why is anything?
I've never much understood rat rods in the first place. I mean,
I dig
a cobbled together collection
some of them are
sundry miscellaneous.
It's sort of a response to the full chip foose. I just paid $1 million for this car and now I can't drive it.
Yes.
But some of them are like, what the hell, were you on an acid trip and you did that thing?
This is true.
So the guy sanded through the paint till it rusted in many spots, gave it this awful weathered look, kicked in the grill. and made the car look like ass, basically. But he did upgrade the engine. It's got 1,000 horsepower.
Okay, so he did the full East LA on it, is what you're saying.
I guess. Michelle, you're out in that sort of neck of the woods, as it were. You a fan of this Camaro? I know how you love the Camaro.
Unfortunately, it's starting to look like my Z3 looks right now.
Haven't got that fixed yet?
No, it goes in Monday.
So would you?
Yeah, this is weird to me. I mean, because rust is not reversible. Right?
Well,
There's
yes.
a lot of guys at Eastwood who'd say otherwise.
yes.
They've made a
They made a fortune on
yeah,
it.
it's a $100 million company based on.
Exactly.
I suppose if
It's
you got it,
cancer
if you
for
got
cars,
it, if
right?
you got it,
for cars.
if you got it to a certain point, you could put
Eastwood chemotherapy.
you could put a matte clear on it to kind of neutralize
Right.
everything. So
But Michelle, design-wise,
It still looks like a Camaro. Actually, it's probably the best Camaro.
so he didn't go far enough. You're saying he should have gone further.
They should have burned it through. Just.
So really, the only
that's what made it look better. They should have poured gas on it,
and
lit
started
it,
flame
fire.
thinner.
yeah,
Exactly.
and then had it. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Give it the full. My team just won the Super Bowl treatment.
Exactly.
The Lord made all kinds of folks.
Yes.
So 1,000 horsepower Camaro, that looks like ass. Not gonna lie.
Land of the free and the home of
And
the...
if you want to check this out, visit our website, roundaboutshow.com.
Well,
Hit the
Chris,
link in the show notes.
That's why some people like Norman Rockwell and some people like Jason Pollock.
Sure. Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock.
Jason
I
Pollock.
knew that.
Jason Pollock sounds like someone who wears a hockey mask. Actually, it'd be pretty neat.
While playing B rolls in A movies.
There you go.
Kevin Pollock.
So that guy's standing up for his right to be crazy, I would say.
Oh.
That was recorded, Chris. So. But some folks over in a certain kingdom in the Middle East are also attempting a small insurrection, as it were, standing up for their right to drive. And frankly, it might be a good idea that Saudi Arabia bans women from driving. Would you agree, Chris? Michelle is speechless.
My foot is much too big to fit in my mouth that deeply.
But Michelle, we gave you this article here to present for us. What is going on in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Well, apparently there's a lot of harlots running around.
What?
Yeah, they're out, doing what they're not supposed to do. They're driving. They're starting this sort of protest against the Sunni. I don't know how it's Wahhabi, but I always think it's wasabi. Sunni sect of Islam, where they are not allowed to drive, and their fear of the clerics' fear if these women get out to drive that they're going to it's doing them harm because they're risk mixing with men they aren't related to, such as mechanics and gas station attendants.
That was the line I liked.
Women will get used to leaving their homes at will, Al Nujaimi said. Wow.
Nujaimi.
Nujaimi? Shut up.
We're not allowed to leave your home, Michelle.
Well, I mean, come on. This, after all, is a sect of Islam that says that if you're raped, you have to have 4 witnesses to say that you didn't bring it on yourself.
Right.
Now, what I'm wondering about is who is the guy who figured out that 4 guys would be standing around watching this happen?
Jeez. So, is this popular revolution going to catch on, or is it going to be beheaded, as it were?
Well, I don't think that it can because they're forbidden from having driver's license in the country. The only people that are trying this are the ones who have international driver's licenses.
License I.
Licenses? So, and I guess they've tried this before, especially during the first Gulf War when they saw women army soldiers driving, around during the war. And at that time, the women that tried driving, lost their jobs. I love this one. They lost their jobs for 2.5 years.
Well, it's a suitable punishment, isn't it?
No,
They
what does that
broke the
mean?
law.
Like, okay, after 2.5 years, you can have your job back?
Sure. They probably worked out of the home.
Is your job as a vassal? I mean, it's a little bizarre.
And they were banned from travel for a year and condemned by powerful clergy as harlots.
For driving? This is absurd.
Well, you have to understand that they don't understand that it's not 1287 anymore.
Yeah, well.
Or at least a portion of the populace.
Well, now I'm all for tradition and, history, those sorts of things, but this is just totally foreign to me. I refuse to accept it.
They're worried that the horns on the women's cars are all going to go la 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 la.
Oh God.
Oh.
So
My Aunt Dude used to live in Saudi Arabia, and
did you just say Aunt Dude?
Yes.
That's her name was Aunt Dude.
I had a Grandma Gussie, Aunt Dude, and Uncle Bus.
Remember, this is New Mexico.
And you're not from
yeah,
Kentucky.
they were from Texas, but
okay.
Same thing.
Texas.
Yeah. Anyway, Aunt Dude used to live in Saudi Arabia, and she had to have a driver, and she had to have her arms and legs covered all the time.
My in the 70s, when the oil industry was going well.
Oh
yes. My father, who was an X-ray technician, got offered a job in Saudi Arabia for like 5 times what he was making in the U.S.
Oh,
and,
right.
Yeah. Well, and he was going to take it, and I'm like, okay, I get to spend the summers in Saudi Arabia and whatever, right?
What's to do there?
It's hot here.
Well, it's like the reason they didn't go. He didn't take the job is because
he was an alcoholic.
No. No. My stepmother, his wife at the time, found out she was going to have to. Didn't matter. Anytime they left the campus area or whatever compound area, she would have to walk behind him, and she was not going to be for that. I said, "No, I won't do that."
Mm-hmm. And he said, "Oh, come on, honey.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be that bad. Look at all the money we make."
Exactly. No, didn't happen.
And
that was really the only reason that he didn't take the job.
And when we get back to the U.S., I'll let you walk in front of me for a year.
Yeah. So, Michelle, the article says, which is coming to us from Bloomberg, that the women are trying to do some sort of popular social media revolution. Are you helping spread the word on Facebook and Twitter to all of your followers?
Absolutely. I'm on the Facebooks,
There's more
running
than one
their
now?
fan pages.
Waiting for those to get banned when they cut the internet to Saudi Arabia. So we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, hopefully those women can get out, and drive a little bit. It'd be nice for them, I think, to enjoy at least one freedom.
Yeah, one.
And there's something nice about having someone drive you, though.
Well, yes.
I mean,
when you have the opportunity to drive yourself and someone does it for you, that's one thing.
When you don't have,
don't have the opportunity to drive yourself, and you're looking at that person going, "I want to do this," and you can't.
Yeah,
that's a little different.
So, well, we wish them the best. We'll see what happens. Standing up for freedom, I guess. Taking a stand. Chrysler, Ram trucks. New tagline, Chris.
Guts.
Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch journalism. Word association. Go.
Guts, glory,
profit.
Next story.
You said Rupert Murdoch journalism. That's much like Ariana Huffington.
Yeah, no, but with Ariana Huffington, I'm sorry, 300 of you have to go because I'm not giving up any of this money. No, Guts, Glory, Ram doesn't quite do it. Although it does go back to that Osama bin Laden truck. It would sort of fit with that. Or even if you're a woman in Saudi Arabia and wanted to drive, Guts, Glory, Ram the Mullahs would probably work better than this whole thing. I think Eric was right.
Michelle Gaffard.
I think Eric was right in saying that Guts, Glory, Jeep makes more sense.
Yes.
And doing the whole patent thing behind it. But Guts, Glory, Ram, I don't know. That's a reach.
What about Chevy Runs Deep?
Yes.
Compare those two.
So other things that we can't mention, but I don't understand that tagline.
That one makes more sense to me.
Then it does. That's sort of like it runs in your vein. It's deep in the family, that sort of stuff. Guts, Glory, Ram is like, well, that was we had 3 of them. We couldn't agree on the other 2. This one, we'll go with that. I think it's the first dud that they've come out since Fiat has stepped into.
Was this a?
Was it a mistake breaking Ram off from Dodge?
No, I don't think so. Quite honestly, because I understood what they were doing there, in that they didn't want they wanted Dodge to become more tied into the automotive side.
So they can get away from the
And
styling too.
Well,
that boxy crosshair.
somewhat, but also that. Part of it was to get the cars away from the truck styling, and caliber.
Calibra.
And the other part of it was also that this allowed them to separate the marketing money, and so now the trucks could go out and do their own marketing. And unfortunately, this is what they came up with.
Well, what if they came up with,
I
say,
don't think
bold
that. I
moves?
think what it is, there's 5 because there's one for each little point on the pentastar.
You're thinking graphically.
Yes.
Is that an
I
upside
think
down
that's about all
pentastar?
there is to that.
The pentagram, pentastar, I'm not sure. Yes, you were going to ask a question there.
I was going to say we're done with this. What else is there to say?
I think it's cooked, quite honestly, yes.
It's yeah,
We don't
it's-
want to reinvent the tagline.
Here's one: bold moves. Oh wait, that's also.
Mark it, Ben.
Any other suggestions? What should Dodge's take?
Well, they've
Get
got-
chat room or commenters. Leave a post on our website, roundaboutshow.com.
so
Well,
What should
they've got
Ram
How
guts,
about this?
glory ram, but it seems like it should be RR ram, like 3 R's.
Or,
you know,
or how about
Reading,
just
writing, RAM.
RAM? It
Screw
works.
arithmetic.
You know, the one thing that they have is their quality
Their quality problems?
Well, their quality image is not good. I mean, my future sister-in-law is on her second Ram, each of which has gone over 150,000 miles towing horse trailers. She loves them.
Why?
Because
Better than comparable Chevrolet or Ford.
coming-
she
Well,
hates the Ford.
Why?
Well, actually, I take that back. She hates the Chevy. She wanted the Ford.
Too expensive.
She thought the Ford interior was cheap and made of too many pieces, and this killed me. It was too much like a car. She wants something that's more. If it's a truck, it
With
should
guts,
be a truck.
really.
Right. And if you're going to do that, then why not Ram? It works.
Well, the thing is that Chevy did the same thing. Ram. You have a tagline to me as universal. Ram tough. Right?
Absolutely.
Chevy had like a rock. And I'm sorry. Okay. So you don't want to pay Bob Seger his royalty money. Fine.
Or
you don't.
people are sitting there after 12 years going, stop.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But I'm like a rock. I mean,
Michelle's a
come on.
Seeger
I mean,
fan. She
what do
looks
you need?
angry now.
Prudential, and then you need the Rock of Gibraltar. I mean, you know, it's like
They built Ford tough. How
yeah.
long has that been around?
it
And-
works. Don't screw with what works.
Exactly. Guts,
And
glory, Ram, no.
and truck people aren't. I want to say they're not the most progressive, but they like stability. You know, they're not looking for to be edgy. They just want. You know,
Exactly. I mean,
they want something that's
They hear that there's
solid.
a new tagline. A lot of them are going to be taking out their 401k money and buying gold because the world's coming to an end.
Naranjo, you got a tagline
Yes.
suggestion that Ram should adopt?
Well, they could if it was just G. I like your idea of patterning, Ben, but just one G, so it was grr.
Ram.
Grr.
Graham crackers.
No, better. Wrong.
They're animals.
You've got the wrong animal, so it should be meh, ram.
Rams don't growl, do they?
No. But if you did that, then Vinegar would be there in a minute.
No, you could say, get yourself a Ram, EWE.
Oh.
Moving along.
Yes.
Next story. People are sitting down for their right to buy a domestic car in San Francisco. They're not taking a stand because the last Detroit 3 auto dealer in the city closed. And Eric, I thought this might be a lightning rod issue that you might appreciate commenting on. The last, like I just said, the last domestic car dealership just closed in San Francisco. San Francisco Ford Lincoln Mercury, and there are no more left in the 47.6 square miles of the city.
Well, it turns out San Francisco is one of the least business-friendly cities in the United States. So much so that they have they tax you on your stock options.
What?
Yes, they tax you on stock options, and there are about half of the tech companies that are based in San Francisco are either planning on leaving or in the process of leaving, and the city council had to pass an emergency measure to for like Twitter and like 2 other companies so they wouldn't leave the city.
Oh, sort of like those opt-outs from Obamacare, right?
Yeah.
The same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I was not surprised that something else
Another
leaves.
one bit the dust.
plus the fact that
it's
what's-
they have like sales tax. That's actually they have 3 different sales taxes
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They have state, county.
Local.
Municipal, school.
Oh wait, no,
sales
wait, maybe it's
tax.
4 because there's one that specifically just is for the whatever the train, the tube, the whatever
BART,
that thing is.
the BART.
Yes.
And also the fact that even more than LA, less domestic cars are sold in like the Bay Area than anywhere else. And
Oh, there's a surprise.
yeah, I know.
They seem to think that Audis come with Perrier in the radiators.
Yeah. Or BMWs.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
a
it's
sad day.
sad, but somewhat not surprising, having spent enough time in that area and having friends in the area.
This would be a great advertising campaign. Our cars aren't obnoxious enough for San Francisco.
Our cars aren't douchey enough for San Francisco.
Oh, Michelle, he's smack talking your city there.
San Francisco?
You're a big San Franciscanite, I know.
Right.
Sisconite.
I live like 7 hours away from San Francisco.
Well, it's California. It's close enough for Craig.
That's like saying we're all Youpers.
Yeah.
San Franciscanite,
I
whatever. Yeah,
It's
so
gonna be in the moonlight.
so if you're in the Frisco area, I guess you got to go elsewhere.
Where?
Well, it was often said that if you wanted to drive the most exclusive car in Newport Beach, you would have a Crown Victoria, non-police
That's
edition.
absolutely true. This is my office is on MacArthur Boulevard, which goes straight down into Newport Beach, and so I see an R8 drive by today and a Maserati, and it's the land of the least. It's
The land of the least. That's funny. I like that.
I like that.
Go
So
by the La Brea tar pits.
tar is a precious natural resource that we need to harness for fuel.
well, their sleeve stacks are different here.
Well, moving along, a certain Hollywood celebrity is standing up for his right to have an obnoxiously large trailer in Manhattan, Eric.
Yes. So
Brave.
Turning the city
Very
into a trailer
brave.
park, I guess
what's
you could
that,
say.
Ben?
I said brave. Very brave.
Very brave. Yes. So Will Smith has had this for a number of years now. What has happened is he took basically a 53-foot trailer from a tractor trailer. Well, he didn't, but a guy who owns a company, and converted it into the ultimate 2-story motorhome.
It's a double-decker bus.
Yes. So, and these are these are like $2 million, which yes, that's a lot of money. But if you look at some of the high-end RVs, it's like okay.
Yeah, it's a Prevost.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 2 stories, multiple plasma screens. I mean, that's like if you won the lottery, you'd go, yes, I must have this. Okay.
You need to win the lottery to fuel it.
No, not really. I mean, just the tractors themselves, they get like 8 miles to the gallon.
I don't
Diesel
think
tractor?
so.
Yeah, that's
Do
about
they?
right.
Is
Yeah.
it hauling a load? I haven't
Well, yeah,
looked.
because it's not 80,000 pounds though.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, at 80,000 pounds, yes, they'll get 5, but this is like 25 or 30,000. So it's
Yes, he'd probably get 8.
It's a featherweight.
so
Almost what a Super Duty does.
the other cool thing is that by law, a trailer can only be 13 or 13 and a half feet tall. Well, this has, to make it so that you can stand up on both floors, it has a hydraulic lift for the top floor that raises it an extra 5 feet. These are yes, it's very, as the kids might say, it's very pimp.
Is very pimp. You heard it here first, folks.
So, anyways,
We're breaking new ground.
The controversy comes from the fact that currently Will Smith is renting a 5-bedroom, 6-bath house in Soho right now, or it's not really a house; it's a whatever they have in Soho, at like $20,000 a month or whatever. And 5 blocks away, near the set of where they're filming Men in Black 3, he has this parked.
Okay.
Yes. So, of course, possibly more douchier than some of the douchiest people in San Francisco, you have the people of Soho.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And, of
yes.
course, this is blocking my view of the store. You know,
What view is there in New York City other than like trash and congestion? I'm sorry.
So
not a
anyway,
city
so I
fan.
guess it's causing quite the uproar that he has this parked near where they're filming the movie, and it's blocking some storefronts or whatever.
Thank God he didn't do this in Tribeca because De
Yeah,
Niro,
De Niro
would
would be
come and talk
in
to
there.
him.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. I ran into him at a Mercedes event. we were
Oh,
in
man.
Tribeca, and we were leaving. We're getting ready to leave after the technology portion. And I look down the street, and I see this guy, and I go, that's Robert De Niro. And
You looking at me?
Guy standing next to me says, there is no, because his hair is down to his shoulders, and he's got a beard and the whole 9 yards. All the other journalists are going, no, that is not Robert De Niro. And he gets a little closer. I go, that's Robert De Niro. And this keeps going on. He gets within about 5 feet of us. I said, it is Robert De Niro. And one of them got just a little tired of me and said, there is no effing way. That is Robert De Niro. At which point De Niro stands right in front of him, grabs him by the collar, and he goes, you talking to me? Made my year. Made my year.
That to me is a better that it tops the Jason Vines playing golf with Robert Wagner going, number 2? Please talk to my assistant. That's better than that. That's awesome. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, it's a cool thing that anyone would have, but because it's in Soho, and
I guess he's just gonna have to run home to Bel Air.
Yeah. So
I got it.
What?
Fresh Prince.
Greg got a cultural reference.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
Put the date down.
Mark it, Ben.
Sorry.
Chris Sawyer has died of typhoid. All right, Michelle, you got our next story. You can stand up to sit down for your right to pedal or be different.
Or
I can
bounce.
I can bounce. Well,
You're a
Carroll
bicycle
Shelby,
enthusiast.
Has now joined the ranks of Audi of having a bicycle designed in his honor. I do like the color scheme. It's Wimbledon white and Guardsman blue, and it's actually a local company here in Orange County that's making these Carroll Shelby bicycles. I don't really get the point of them, but
Neither do
I mean,
I.
it's one more thing for as long as Carroll Shelby can walk around with a silver paint pen and just sign more shit, Sorry.
He seems to sign everything, doesn't
There's
he?
Well, it's the senility setting in.
well, that's a little bit of it, but I've got to meet Carol a few years ago and find out some of the behind the story stuff of what goes on there. There's some people that have essentially taken over his businesses,
wrangling them.
and
The family there was some of the family that was doing it in Vegas, and they filed bankruptcy, didn't they, last year?
yeah, but it's more like his business manager kind of people, and they basically will license him out to anything for money, and it's kind of sad because Carol,
he's poured out is what.
yeah,
what you're
pretty
saying.
much, and it's sad because he's. Well, I mean, he's 87 or 88 years old now, and so he's not
He's
as
almost
sure.
as old as Bob Lutz, something like that. Yeah.
Sadly.
So they're sort of diminishing what Carroll Shelby is and was, but
Yeah.
for their benefit than
And
for his.
I also give him credit that I think in the past couple of years, for the guys at Barrett Jackson who wanted him to sign it so they could get a couple extra $1,000 on their car, that he made them pay him a couple of $1,000 to do it, and then it goes to his charity.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's kind of silly. Why do they need a bike with his name on it?
what,
Like
what
you were
Because
saying,
some
Michelle.
because some
Why do you need
jackass
a-
will buy
Why
it.
does Woody need a bicycle?
It is cool.
Right,
It's
he
got
rides
a
around in a golf cart now
with
someone
his
else
skimmer
driving.
hat on. Vote for Coolidge. But one cool thing, it's got a Springer front end like the old motorcycles used to have. So that's its only redeeming feature. And $999, a little pricey for a bike, it seems, but I'm sure that's in line with normal.
for a wood Audi bicycle.
Well, yeah, a
I
wood
know.
Audi
I love those
bicycle.
wooden Audi bikes, but that's okay. Ben's dad's making me a wooden Vespa.
Is he now?
By the way, I didn't get to tell you,
weren't around for
Michelle.
that story.
Oh, story time with Ben Slanders.
I didn't get to tell you, Michelle.
What?
He said if you buy the materials, you buy the Vespa, you buy the wood, he'll make it.
It'll take 30 years to get it, but he'll.
That's okay.
But eventually, you'll have your wooden Vespa.
Well, I'll tell you after.
Sure.
So there you go. How do you like me
The
now?
only car company that should
So
be
thank
doing
you, Michelle.
bicycles is Peugeot.
Thank you, Craigie.
Instead of cars.
Well, Peugeot started as a bicycle manufacturer.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah. This is the way to do this. I just got chains. Oh, I love it. But when I was at Lotus, they had done bicycles. And the funny thing was, they win. Chris Boardman wins the Olympic gold medal for the pursuit and all that. And Boardman apparently got very egotistical after that, and that's when Lotus let it be known quietly among bicyclists how he won the gold
His
medal.
graphite powder.
No, it was made out of
Heroin.
carbon fiber, but the Lotus engineers realized that the bike was only weighed once.
Oh, okay.
So every time Chris Boardman was handed a bicycle and he ran in all of these different pursuits, it was a different bicycle, and each one was lighter until he got to the last race, and the bike didn't weigh much more than the wheels and the derailleur on it. And he thought that he was the man.
And they never told him?
They never told him. And that bicycle is now sitting in Hethel, and I got a chance to see it.
Did you get a chance to ride it?
I didn't get a chance to
Then
ride
I don't
it
want to hear
because
the rest.
I'm a little portlier than Chris Boardman is. But I did get a chance to pick it up, and I grabbed it thinking, oh, it's a bicycle, and almost threw it into the air.
It was the perfect Colin Chapman bicycle. It was going to fall apart 5 feet after it crossed the finish line.
Across the finish line, that thing was going to be in pieces. It must have weighed about 2 pounds. It was amazing.
Wow. Fascinating story, guys. Fascinating stories in the news portion of the program, which we hope you, our loyal listeners, enjoyed. But coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at an interesting Soviet-era tractor that, surprise, surprise, never caught on. We'll go in the garage and talk about what everyone's been driving lately, and we'll make you feel good about yourself with another uplifting installment of Stupid Car Tricks. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss a word of this. But for now, I need to talk about our good friends at Advance Auto Parts, no?
Oh, yes, quite.
Visit our website, roundaboutshow.com, and click on the Advance Auto Parts link on the right-hand sidebar of the page, and you can save some serious moolah. We have a very special, exclusive offer that is running right now. If you order $30 worth of goods from them, from Advance, you can save $10. You order $50 worth of goods, you save $20. $100, you save $30. Again, that's 10 off 30, 20 off 50, or $30 off of 100. That's a lot of savings, Chris.
Yeah, I'm doing the math right now. It'll take me a little while, but
and you drive a
I'll catch up to
Volkswagen,
you.
which I'm sure it's under warranty. But if it weren't, heaven forbid, you would need to get in touch with
I
the
have
folks at
I have
Advance.
2 British cars in the garage, so I may have to take them up on this offer.
The Cortina.
Buy
And
stuff now.
Great idea, Eric. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's all very important that you go to our website, roundaboutshow.com, to get these deals. If you don't follow the link on our website, it will not register with Advance.
And the best thing is you can order it online, but go pick it up in person.
If you need questions or you've got any questions for the friendly folks at Advance, you can pick it up in store, like you said, Eric, and they'll be happy to help you out.
And
with
no
that.
shipping. No paying for shipping.
But orders exceeding $75. Now, are you sitting down for this, Chris?
Yes, I am, as you can see.
You might want to check.
Yeah, I am.
As I stare right at you 3 feet away. If you're sitting down. Orders exceeding $75. Free
Yes.
shipping.
Free shipping? Get out.
Free.
No.
I'll let you stew on that.
How
for
do
a
they
minute.
stay in business?
By volume of sales. That's what it's gotta be.
Unbelievable.
It's a volume
Even out to
business.
California, Michelle, you can get free
And it
shipping.
saves you from having to order it and go in and pick it up at your local shop and have them go, "You're one of those roundabout weirdos." Huh? Okay.
No, that would imply they knew who we were, which is just isn't the case. So, even if you're not in the market for parts, aftermarket or repair or otherwise, I don't know what other categories there might be, you can still click on the link and let them know you care, that you are a Roundabout fan, and that you appreciate what they're doing for us. So
That's right.
click early.
And
Click a
often.
lot.
Exactly. Click, click, click.
It's like that HGTV greenhouse giveaway. You can
Oh,
vote
yeah.
twice a day.
That's right.
Wow.
Vote as many times as you want. We'll throw them away.
So we thank our friends at Advance Auto Parts for providing their services to the Roundabout Show. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's great news, everyone. So, moving along, it's time for our blind spot story of the week. When news topics go unnoticed or underreported or otherwise fall off the radar, I hurt myself breathing in like that, they land in our blind spot. And this week we've got a little feature about an electrically powered tractor from Soviet Russia. Can you believe?
Look at me! I'm driving a hybrid.
Oh, wait. EV. Sorry.
Look at me! I'm driving an EV.
There we go.
Wow, that was so professionally done. I couldn't tell there was a jump there.
So we've got an article here from is it the Jalopnik? I can never remember.
Does it matter?
Awkward
No.
sounds.
So I guess during the Soviet days, Chris, you would remember these better than the rest of us.
I spent many a year on the gulag.
Yes, you speaking out against your comrades.
Decades and decades and
decades,
decades.
yes.
Kamchatka.
Yes.
So the Soviets had an idea to build an electric tractor that would run off high voltage provided to these vast collective farm fields.
What could possibly go wrong?
With a gigantic extension cord to power them. Originally they were going to run them off battery, according to this article on Jalopnik. But they realized it would have taken something like 10 metric tons of lead and acid to power.
Well, and it works so well in that humid, hot, warm Soviet.
Oh yes.
Balmy Soviet.
40 degrees below outside. It's warm day.
Well, these are for farming in the more temperate months of the year, so like June and July.
Okay, it's 10 below.
Yes. So, what is even feasible about this?
And you consider how much electricity you're losing the longer that cord gets, and this could be a problem.
All right, I can't remember my electric stuff too well, but it would be DC. They'd probably be smart to run it on DC, right? Because that way there would be
less drop off, and
well, which meant they ran it on AC, of course.
Of course. Sergey, the farther I go, the slower it gets.
I
do not understand.
We have technical data from Nikola Tesla. Just travel over air, yes?
Yes. Broadcast power. It work.
Those are, I can see Tesla coils all over the place.
Everybody's hair standing on. I cannot have children, but I able to farm.
Yeah, all right, for those of you watching or listening to the podcast, go to YouTube. Just type in Tesla coil. You'll understand what we say, and you'll have, at
hours
least
of fun.
I was gonna say at least a couple minutes of amusement.
Exactly.
So the absurdity never ceased, apparently, in the Soviet Union. We had the screw-powered vehicles a few weeks ago, those giant corkscrews on the bottom, which, Michelle, you took quite a fancy to, I understand.
Oh, of course. I wasn't even on that one.
You could play along, instead of being Michelle Colbert over there, deadpan, Miss Deadpan.
Well, according to the home game, you were on that one.
So, I don't even know why we're doing this story. They'd have I just could have pictured this rickety, those old steam-powered tractors they had way back in the day. I could imagine something looking like that with a coffee can diameter like cable spooled on the back, running out kilometer after kilometer out to this.
And on the side of it, it says Tupolev Volt.
Yes, Tupolev. The Tupolev Design Bureau. Yeah. So, if you guys out there want more details on this Soviet electric tractor and to see some of these crackerjack sketches they've got of these things, hit the link in the show notes, roundaboutshow.com. You can be the jury.
So there were enough words in the story to make up for the other 800 Jalopnik stories of the week. So, that had as many words as the other 799.
Yes, I do believe so.
Which are usually 7 words in a link.
Yeah, exactly. What? Work? No, sorry.
Ben, why don't you go ahead and roll up that door? We're going in the garage.
Sounds good.
Haven't replaced that motor yet.
No, I meant to do that.
So we got a whole slew of vehicles we've been driving here lately. Some fun, some not, Chris.
Craig, why don't you start us off?
I'll kick things off, as it were.
Sort of on the high end.
I've been enjoying a certain luxury vehicle this week. It comes from a certain Munich-based automaker. Perhaps you're familiar. You've heard of BMW before?
It sounds vaguely familiar. Yes.
Well, I've been enjoying the advantages of the BMW 550i for the past few days.
Ooh.
It's quite a luscious vehicle. Michelle, are you
now
a fan?
that she likes?
Does it have a pillow soft ride?
It's got an adjustable ride. Funny you ask, Eric.
No, a German car with too many adjustments that you can't take care of? Please.
And that I had two mechanical faults randomly on it. I was merging onto I-75 one morning, and I'm in third gear. Plenty of power in third gear for merging on this car. And I get on the gas, and I get the cheerful BMW chirp. Broom, and I look, what the hell? And plus the car wasn't accelerating that fast, and it was flashing mechanical fuel fault. Please drive moderately. And I'm like, what? So then I stopped and it went away and then never came back. So I'm just assuming that's Siemens Electronics or something. I don't know.
I think quite honestly, when you tally up the electrical faults that are showing up in German cars, that they're quickly becoming the British.
Lucas.
Getting ridiculous. Yeah, dim flicker off the 3-position switch. Yeah.
He invented the short circuit.
Exactly.
So did it take 5 minutes of like
to clear itself?
No,
It just went
like
away,
when you
I
first
don't
get in to drive away, you have to turn that on, turn that.
No, it was pretty.
Okay.
It was pretty normal driving, getting it started up and going. But the other fault I had was the fuel pump, and then the cruise control just randomly stopped functioning.
There's a reason why 80% of BMWs are leased.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to own it out of warranty.
Yeah. You want how much to fix it?
It was an awesome car. And this one was equipped with a 6-speed manual, which made it all the better.
Wow.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fast. Not as fast as I would have expected.
Well, it's because it weighs 4,800 pounds.
But it's got 400 horsepower.
But it weighs
turbocharged V8.
It needs 400 horsepower to move 4,800 pounds. Yeah.
Lots of top-end pull on that engine, too. It really screams
So
up
is
the
it
red line.
will pull the skin off pudding?
Works well in stop-and-go traffic, then, with all that top-end power.
Well, it's
absolutely.
perfectly smooth.
Americans all drive on torque anyway.
What color was it, Craigie?
I knew that was coming. It was white, Michelle. Thanks for asking. It was alpine white, I think, was the color.
It wasn't silver?
No.
Wow.
The X5M we had was white as well.
And the interior was the
light beige color.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with black on top, of course.
Okay.
What else did I like? Oh, the thing I didn't like about the engine, it didn't sound like anything. It made no noise.
It's because it has a turbocharger.
But still, I expected some rumble of some sort. There was nothing. It might as well have been a 4-cylinder. That was my biggest gripe about
Your
it.
stomach rumbled louder.
Yeah. Well, I starved myself deliberately.
You get that performance stomach sound.
Yes. But other than that, awesome car, $70,000, a little pricey.
Yikes.
And I don't trust the quality with the 2 faults I had randomly in a few days.
Kidding.
And it likes fuel. It's kind of thirsty. 1722.
That's actually not that bad.
That's really not too bad for the weight and the power.
But Eric, you were in something a little thriftier.
Yes, I was.
But still a very nice vehicle.
Very nice vehicle.
Tell us about it.
I had the 2012 Ford Focus Titanium. It was black. Michelle?
Now, titanium isn't a precious metal, though. It's interesting they chose that for their top trim level.
Yeah. It also had the very unique, which I didn't like at first and kind of grew on me, black and white interior.
Yeah.
It looks, as someone said, it looked like a penguin. Someone said it looked like a golf shoe.
Or a keyboard. Or,
But over time, the week I had it, I sort of kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue was that it had white on the steering wheel. And I'm like, that's going to discolor over time.
Oh, yeah.
Not if it's vinyl like they typically use. It's indestructible.
Well,
I don't know. The white steering wheel on the Fiat 500 I drove was kind of looking grody.
yeah.
You get a Mr.
Love the
Clean
car.
magic
Hated the
eraser
white.
and clean it up.
Yeah, you start to want to get the guys from CSI to see what that is on that steering wheel after a while.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Ignorance.
I think there was a Top Gear episode where
Yes,
they did that,
yes,
and it's
yes.
like,
Yeah.
But anyways, I got it with the 6-speed dual clutch transmission, just because I figured, well, in the drive that Michelle and I had out in California, I enjoyed that better than the manual. Plus, I figured more people would drive that than the manual, so I wanted to see what everyone else's experience would be.
Yeah.
Interesting thing that you forget about is it's a dual clutch, not an automatic, so that when you're on a hill and you take your foot off the brake,
starts
it rolls
rolling
back a little bit. And I'm like, whoops. Fabulous car, good power from the 2-liter. Was better than what I remembered it being out in California. Did a fuel mileage run on 94 between Dearborn and Ann Arbor. There back 37.5, driving about 75, 80 miles an hour.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Like I said, plenty of power. Huge huge interior in it. Like the back seat room isn't the best.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. But when you fold it down, it fits an English Mastiff. And I have visual proof. I have pictures.
I've seen the pictures.
I showed you the pictures.
Yes, I've seen the pictures, and that's a big dog.
Yeah, Lola's not small. She's no purse dog.
No, what Lola wants, Lola gets.
Yes,
Yeah,
most of the time, yes.
Yes.
Handled very well. The electric power steering on that thing is really, really good. At 0 to 5 miles an hour, it's like, winging or nothing there. But as soon as you get going faster, about 10 miles an hour, you can feel it weight up. And even on the highway, it's perfect weight on the highway.
Sounds like they've learned a lot from the Focus, because the Focus was a mess.
The Fiesta?
Or Fiesta, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
All those F words. The Fiesta it couldn't figure out what it was, and they had the damper settings were perfect, and the springs were too tight, and it was on hand-cooked tires that didn't like it being there. This is on Continentals, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes.
And how was the DCT, the dual clutch, in terms of kickdown, getting what you want to do? I mean, my understanding with the Fiesta, it doesn't really want to react too quickly.
It wasn't bad. I will say that it likes to upshift quickly.
Yes.
It's programmed to upshift quickly for maximum mileage,
Right.
which is a little odd because you can be going 25 miles an hour and be in fourth gear.
Oh, nice.
But you put your foot into it, and it will kick down. I didn't have too many. I don't remember being like, Jesus Christ, will you go already? Kind of, didn't have one of those moments, or it was like, wasn't
Eric,
waiting.
he already went for your sins.
And he said, "I will, my son."
Yeah.
Patience.
Yes.
Now, did you use the plus minus?
A little bit.
Everybody, it just sort of.
What's
not
the
really
point?
There, yeah.
You do slot it all the way back into sport, and it does make it. It definitely did adjust the shift points in it. It handled well. It's not a performance car. It's not a sporty car, but it's a everyday car that has a little spunk. It's spunky. It's spunky. Right. I guess would be the best way to say it. But have no illusions that it's in this trim, non-ST or RS, that it's some kind of performance car. It's not.
No.
But it's a really good, solid. I mean, it's a really good car, and it's probably one of the 3 cars that I've tested or had that I'm like, do I have to give this back? No, it was not cheap. No. This had pretty much every option other than the sunroof in it.
And it had to be damn near $29,000.
$25,600.
Wow,
that's a lot. Well, that's a lot of money, and I'm not going to say that, but you can get a nicely equipped one for $21,222. Right. This was a top line, fully loaded, and by the way, all the cars in this segment are going more to that way than to. And someone says, that's too much for that. Really? Because have you priced the, say, Volvo C30 or an Audi A3?
Oh, yeah.
You can't. Yes, you can buy them for $26,000 or $28,000, but you can't, because by the time you put 2 options in it, they're like $34,000.
Eric, would you?
Oh, I saw an A3 that was for sale that was a 2008 yesterday. And it had over 100,000 miles, and it was still $24,000.
2008 with 100,000.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and it didn't have a sport package on it.
So was that the Delirium trim edition?
Yeah.
So I guess I can say, like, phenomenal, knock it out of the park, home run. I would buy that car with my own money.
So
and that says a lot from a journalist.
Yeah,
we don't have money.
We don't have money.
Yeah, we don't have money.
So would you say the 2012 Focus is, of the mainstream C-section cars, it's the best?
C-section cars. I haven't driven the.
Give me the epidural.
I haven't driven a Golf, so I can't say based off of that, but off of some of the other. And I'm still waiting to get the Cruise.
Cruise is not bad.
Yeah,
Cruise is interesting though, because the 1.4 turbo is the engine that they push, because the base car is the 1.8. Exactly the same power, but at different, lower down with the 1.8. The 1.4 turbo is not a bad motor, but it sure doesn't feel like there's a heck of a lot more there.
Yeah.
And the really funny part about it was I was on 696, and I had the L2LT, and heading up towards Woodward, where you get the big sweeps, and hit the bumps just right. And the damper settings are such that all of a sudden the car felt weightless.
Oops.
And you're just sitting there, and the sphincter's starting to pucker, and you're going, what in the hell is going on here? Am I going to start sliding off the road, or am I just going to float off into eternity? And then it all comes back to the earth, and it's like, wow, that was weird. And I drove around, did it again, and Exactly. It wasn't just a weird little one-off.
Yeah.
Other than that, the interior's nice.
I would say
but the Focus has got more style to it.
Yeah, and like the Elantra,
And
I
soft.
thought
It's like
I thought
this.
was really quite good, and I had the limited, full load of that. And when one of my initial thoughts were on that, I think were really confirmed was that the Elantra is a really good car, and value-wise versus the Focus, it's definitely the better value, but it's not quite as good of a car.
No.
Just and everything, and especially
Dynamically, it's not quite.
yeah,
there,
yeah, and the interior, you can see $3,000 or $4,000. I mean, it's like you can literally go, yes, that's $4,000 worth of difference.
$4,000 worth of difference.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like just the
silicone or saline.
yes, I mean level of material, quality of material, amount of material. I guess
Right.
that's the best way to say
Right.
it. Is just
because the top of the forward instrument panel is covered in the same
it's all-
material that's used, the same maker that does the top of the dash on the Rolls Royce. I mean, it's like we're not talking downscale here.
Yeah,
So,
so-
you feel it in that car.
Yeah.
And I've got a Jetta, and it's everybody
They
complains about.
contracted cement companies to do the dash.
well. Here's the thing about the Jetta though is if you haven't experienced the last edition,
You won't.
you
miss
would
it.
know. Yeah, you're not going to know the difference.
It's going to be judged by the previous edition, and I think unfairly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because most people don't sit there and go, "Oh, look, it's soft."
Yeah. So I guess to sum up the Focus, everybody's going to bitch and complain about how expensive it is.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Good things cost
Yeah, if you
money.
want a cheap car, buy something else. If you want a nice car, that's probably 5 years ago you would have to spend well over $30,000 to
easily.
get that level of material and
Oh,
quality
yeah.
in a car. So I mean,
technology, you couldn't even get a
yeah,
car.
let's skip
Exactly.
the technology. I'm just talking about
The vehicle itself.
the dynamics,
Yeah.
the quality of the build, the materials used, fit and finish. You were spending, like I said, well over $30,000 5 years ago to get that, and you're getting it for
Okay.
under 25 now. So I'm sorry, that's a hell of a deal.
Thanks for that, Eric. Now, rumor has it, Naranjo, I
Yes.
understand you were in the little Fiat Cinquecento.
Wait, Michelle had a press car?
No.
Oh.
No, I was at the Texas Auto Writers.
Oh, okay.
Towel,
Well,
or
that
whatever
doesn't
it's
count.
called.
Forget it.
Towel.
Towel.
Doesn't count. It wasn't in my garage.
I've skied there, I think.
So what'd you think of that Fiat 500?
I loved it. I mean, I talked
That's
to
a
Eric
5 double aught.
after I drove it. And I mean, I really liked it, but I realized the other day how I've driven Fiestas and Focuses so much that I have it hammered into my head that it's, they're boron steel and they're all the, because I keep thinking I want to buy something little for commuting. And I thought, oh, I'll buy the Fiat. And then I was
And you start thinking, this is
like, it may not be as
linguine.
safe as the Ford. Like, I've been brainwashed.
So the 500 is a very small automobile.
The back seat, honestly, the back seat's bigger than the Mustang.
Leave that one alone.
More room. You could conceive a child in the back, you're saying.
Yeah.
So dynamic,
Maybe. Not saying that
dynamically,
it did, but
dynamically, how was the 500?
I thought it was fun to drive. I actually think the Fiesta is more fun to drive.
Really?
But
Chris
there's a
sounds
nice little
skeptical.
style aspect to the Fiat. And it's not like, I go straight up and down the 405. It's not like I'm winding around the hills that Eric and I drove the Focus in.
Did you like the multi-air system on that engine there?
The that was immediately the first thing I noticed.
What color was it?
I drove the manual and the automatic.
Which
so
color was they?
the first one I drove was that color that you're showing right now on the
Burnt sienna?
screen, that reddy orange. Yeah, and then the second one was matte
Rojo
vintage
Oregano.
green, which I didn't. The lounge kit, which has like way too much going on inside the car. I think there was camel black, white, and some camel black,
So
white.
trashy strip club lounge.
So there were like 4 different colors main colors besides the silver.
Did it play anything but techno at about 130 decibels inside?
So like it
Keep pulling up in front of strip
or
clubs.
love
I
it,
do
Michelle?
like it. I like it.
When you
I
came
like it.
to a
You gonna
stop,
buy
did
one to
someone
replace the
roll
Kia?
up to you with a bottle of vodka and say this will be $400?
You gonna buy one over the Something to
I've been
replace?
thinking about it. I mean, what was surprising was, how the uptake on them. And I talked a little bit on Twitter about this, but they were expecting to sell 70% to 30% automatic over manual, and they're actually selling 60-40 manual over automatic right now.
That's awesome.
And they thought it was going to be something like 70% female, 30% male, and they're selling something like 60% male, 40% women.
Wow.
Jeez.
A lot of cars.
So we have a question in the chat from Gorski C. Michelle asking you, do you have to wear a black turtleneck while driving it?
I believe you do.
Do you have to own Apple products to own the Cinquecento?
Probably.
Do you have to drink Nostro Zero beer?
Or drink Fuji water.
Peroni.
Fuji
water,
water. It comes in a square bottle.
Exactly.
So, Chris, you were also in another vehicle, a Ford vehicle,
Yes.
for
Yes.
quite an extended period.
Yes.
You were going down to Virginia, I understand.
Yep.
You're doing a side job. You're shuttling Virginia peanuts from a factory
No,
down
actually,
there.
we're
They do a dry roast, I understand.
I prefer the honey roast myself.
Yeah.
That's why you've got
those
the
peanuts
sugars.
are good. No, it was had a Ford Transit Connect.
Oh, the tranny.
No, not really. Now, the funny thing about this is it's based on the old Focus, so it's like 1998 technology and built in Turkey.
Cocelli.
And we're talking about things.
Talk about a chicken tax.
Yeah, no kidding. But I wanted to give it a real I'd driven the panel version before. This was the passenger version. And I wanted to give it a real test, so I went to the girlfriend and said, let's go see your sister, because they usually end up taking lots of stuff over to the sister's house and then lots of stuff picked up from the sister's house and taken
your
back.
girlfriend's a gypsy.
No, she has an antique mall business, so she takes all the Christmas stuff and gives it to Annie, and Annie gives her all the stuff that she doesn't want anymore.
So
And
Michelle, this sounds familiar to you.
I know. It's why I want a Transit Connect.
Well, we looked like the Jodes going and coming. On the
I
way,
love it.
On the way back, especially, it was packed so high I couldn't see out of the windows that I was enjoying earlier.
Because it's like the panel version.
It
then.
was suddenly the panel version, and thankfully it has big mirrors.
And
that do the
actually, it's a
job.
little known fact: the panel version does not have reverse because it's too dangerous to back up.
You
known
put it
fact.
in neutral and put your foot out and push.
That's right.
Yeah.
You do the whole Flintstone thing. It does
They have
work.
a little lock mechanism on the reverse. It's still there. It's still the Prindle. But
Well, actually, you just order the camera and it will come up in the rearview mirror. And this one
so you
had
can
that.
still hit stuff.
And it was this one was $24,000, which sounds like a lot for such a basic vehicle, especially something that's got the 2-liter Duratec with 138 horsepower and a 4-speed automatic.
So this one
transmission.
would not pull the film off of pudding.
That's the funny part about it. It would the because it only had 4 speeds, it would hold third gear going up grades. And you'd be sitting there going, "Shut up!"
And it's not a well-insulated vehicle, noise-wise, because
no.
it's a utility. It's
It
a
is.
work
It is a
trucklet.
work truck. Yes, exactly. And you see that mostly the florist shops will have it. But the funny thing was, it did the job very well. I was also testing a fuel additive in it. That is,
You're buying into that snake oil?
no, this stuff really worked. When you consider the EPA rating on the Transit Connect is 26, and we were hitting regularly 31.
Not exactly with a light load in it.
Was it
Not
acetone?
exactly a light. Actually, that is one of the ingredients. But the funny part about it was it carried everything. It held more than we thought it would. Cindy usually will take her Passat wagon, and then that poor
Well,
thing
that's not good for
holds
trafficking
lots
people.
of stuff.
No.
Trafficking people, no. In fact, you can get a lot of illegals in the back of a Transit Connect. But as long as it's under 1,600 pounds, that's really what you have to make sure that you
It's
don't.
that focus platform.
Yeah, exactly. But I talked to the chief engineer on it, and outfitters are wild about this thing. There may well be a Cabela version of this car.
Like
there
a
may
replacement for Eddie Bauer.
well, yeah, they want this thing. They're saying that small families are starting to buy this because minivans are getting too big for them
Too
and
expensive.
too expensive. Yeah, I had a Quest recently. It was $43,700. And here was this thing that was 24/1, and it's like
Does everything you need.
Yeah, okay, and you got sliding doors on either side, and you've got the split door in the back. It's
Offer a better engine and a modern 6-speed transaxle.
6-speed and
or even a manual, a 5-speed manual.
No,
would be awesome.
just a EcoBoost, 2-liter EcoBoost with the 6-speed.
Oh,
That's like the.
I want the Pelote version, the one that they did for the LA Auto Show when they introduced the Transit Connect. They did it in Gulf blue and orange.
Oh.
They did 19-inch BBS split rims on it, and they did the rear of the car all in teak wood, all in nicely done teak wood with the chrome runners on it. Nice. I wanted that thing so bad, and I was talking to the guy who did it. He goes, "Yeah, but when we put the 19s on it, man, it really slowed down." Like, okay, so we pull out the motor.
Well, I say, and I say the 2-liter EcoBoost, knowing that full well that Ford would never put a turbo diesel in it. So. No. At least for North America.
At least for North America, exactly. Despite the fact that we're buying more diesels than hybrids.
Yes. So.
What?
So you liked it then?
I actually, it's a very honest vehicle. Every woman who saw it said, "Oh, it's so cute." I took it to McDonald's drive-through one day, and there was the typical. Well, she must have been 18-year-old girl. They're taking the money. Mm-hmm. She sees this thing. And she's just waving me up, has me, I roll down the window. She goes, "What is that?" And I tell her all about it. And she goes, "Was it like on the inside?" Next thing I know, she is crawling out of the window she's halfway into my car. I've got this 18-year-old girl
on your lap,
basically giving me this sort of
hello,
McDonald's. Exactly.
I say, where was the camera on that one?
No kidding. Are you happy to see
party?
me? Yeah. And getting this sort of McDonald's drive-through lap dance, and she's looking at this and going, "Oh, how much is it? How much is it?" She absolutely wanted one.
Sorry.
And the other thing that was cool about it was in Virginia, where Cindy's sister lives, there's a road called Pope's Head Road. And no, it's not because you put the Pope's head on a stick. It's Mr. Pope owned the head road.
It's not like Buga de Bep with a Pope's head table.
But it's the road has been named one of the top 3 roads by, I can't remember which motorcycle magazine. Well, right down from Annie's house, it goes up a hill, and as you crest the hill, that's when you finally see the sign that says, "Caution, 10 miles an hour." And the paddock that's right past it with the big rock in front of it. We had 5 people on board this thing, and I don't read street signs or believe them, so I went into the corner at 25, and it did wonderfully. And it was like, this thing handles really nicely. I could live with this car, but I really want more speeds.
Well, if you remember, this is one of the earliest episodes of Roundabout that we did. Somebody in the UK at a Transit Connect put the old Focus RS, so the 2-liter Z-Tech in there, and that thing must have hauled.
That'd work.
But another interesting vehicle on the list here, Chevy Volt. I was in that. So
I've heard of that.
Electrifying.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. So Chevy's
KBB's #1 green car of the year for 2011.
Oh, no surprise there.
Is it an electric car?
It's more than that, Michelle.
Is it a hybrid?
It's so much more.
Oh, you
Is
sure
it
Chevy didn't lie about that?
Extended range vehicle?
Yeah, you could say that.
21 gigawatts!
That's what it feels like because you're empowered to help the Earth when you're driving the Volt.
And
It's not very nice to drive.
It's not?
It's not really that nice to drive. The steering very light. The brake pedal feels artificial. You step on it, there's this weird transition between the regenerative braking, which is very mild regenerative braking.
Really?
It's extremely mild. In fact, I wish it were much more aggressive. But the transition between that and the friction brakes was a little weird. But these are just very minor complaints.
Mm-hmm.
It drives fine, really. Just nitpicks from me. The bigger issue I had were the blind spots. The A pillars were gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
C pillars even bigger. So, son of Camaro, I guess, because you couldn't see anything. A little hard to see.
Called rollover.
Yeah, roof crush malarkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt very solid, very hefty feeling. Probably because the lithium-ion batteries weigh a ton, but
That could do it. Yeah.
but it was quiet, it was smooth.
It's
Electric
a
power.
$40,000 Chevy Cruze.
Yeah, it kind of whirs along. The
There's
transition.
there's another car you never buy, you lease.
Yes.
The transition from electric mode to the internal combustion engine, the range extender, was stunningly smooth. You could not, at highway speeds, you could not hear the engine running. You could not even feel it. Just the little animation swapped from the battery in the cluster, swapped from battery to a little gas tank. That's the only reason you knew. And then it's weird when you're driving it in extended range mode because our engine RPMs do not correspond to your level of acceleration. So the engine will spool up and you're sitting there kind of not going anywhere, which is kind of weird because it's obviously running. It's charging the battery up when you're running.
Do that at a stoplight and someone thinks you want to race?
It's not that loud.
Can you brake torque at a volt? That'd be interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, other than a couple, I mean, it's a real. You can fit 4 people in it. Good amount of room in the back. Really quiet on the highway. I've got no complaints other than the steep price. But if you're an early adopter, you got to expect that. The lease though, what, $350 a month? That's perfectly reasonable, I think.
Right.
For a little bit of a higher end sedan type car.
And then did you plug it in at night?
I did 12 hours to get 31 miles of range on 110 volt.
Wow. What was the outside temperature?
It was temperate. It was in the 50s to 60s. It was in a garage, so
'Cause
60s.
I remember running into Lutz at the auto show a couple of years ago, and it was bloody cold outside. And he was talking about how he had driven the Volt in, and no one asked him the question, so of course I did. So how many miles did you get on electric, Bob? Well, it's 28.
Is that less than 40?
It does go down when it gets colder, but, that's the gasoline engine kicks in, and you don't have to worry about things like that.
Yeah, I'll stick with my internal combustion engine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the Volt. I liked it. Wasn't a knock. I mean, some people are equating it to a moonshot. Others despise it. I'm in the middle. It's a nice car, and I appreciate
Would you have named it Car of the Year if you were at Motor Trend?
What was it going up against? I don't even remember.
Everything else that was out at that point.
Nissan Leaf.
Yeah.
Maybe I could see how it's significant. If not the car, if the car itself is not significant,
the idea
behind it and the technological innovation it represents. Right. So, yeah, very nice. I'm not gaga, but it's a great vehicle.
You're not gaga, that's for sure.
Moving right along, we've got a stupid car trick coming up next. But first, I'd like to mention our fine friends at Tire Rack. If you swing by our website, roundaboutshow.com, and click on the link at the top of the page, you can save $80 when you purchase a qualifying set of 4 Goodyear or Dunlop tires. Again, you must follow the link on our website, roundaboutshow.com, to get this offer. That's $80 off 4 Goodyear or Dunlop tires. So pretty good deal. And we thank Tire Rack for their support. So, okay, who's ready for a self-esteem boost?
Okay.
Go on, boy. Go get it. Come on now. So we've got another wonderful article from the Autoholics.com, powered by Car Domain, interestingly enough.
We've been here.
I know, that's why we come back. It was a pretty good story the first time. Anyway, so we've got a video of someone that looks like they're trying to load a car. I'm not even certain what varietal it is.
Well, based off everything else in that lot, it's probably a BMW.
Yeah. So the guy's
probably
trying
one
to
of those off-lease ones.
guy's trying to ramp it up onto the back of a flatbed truck with predictable hilarity.
So what happens here, Craig?
Well, let's see. Let's get that video going. All right, the guy is lining it up on the ramps, slowly and steady. There you go.
Looks like they've sped this up for
yeah.
Maximum hilarity. There it goes. Whoa! There we go.
Goes up to the window, gets in, and then, oh my God. The car launches over the ramp, smashes into the back of the truck.
It must have been a Toyota. It must have been a Toyota.
I don't think no, Toyotas don't accelerate that fast.
That's true. That's true.
It had some force. It just leaps up the ramps and smashes into the back of the truck, the cab portion, and then rolls off the side. I don't even. It's almost fake looking. It's so preposterous.
It used to be very common in the 60s with the muscle cars, especially as Detroit got a little crazy, everybody started to one-up everybody else, because the clutches would grab so hard at one point in their travel that it was not uncommon to be driving past the dealers and see the guy get up there. Usually the car was on the top, and he would start taking the thing back, and it would go flying off the ramp into whatever was behind it, or if he was putting one on, to watch it go over.
Did you witness this?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Mulligan Lincoln Mercury was a great...
Mulligan?
Yep. Great, and it was
Mulligan.
perfectly named. And I saw one where the guy took a Cougar Eliminator and was driving it up the ramp, got the clutch a little bit wrong, launched it over the cab of the truck into
That school bus of
No, it was a
orphans.
lot
No.
of brand new Lincolns. He took out 4 of them. It was just
Was that the
best day of my life.
It was ever so nice. So, okay, this car smashes into the back of the truck. That's not all. It rolls off the driver's side of the flatbed afterward, which, Ben, if you play that again, I don't even know how it got that sort of...
And what I love is the guy races over to
tries
the
to, like,
side.
stop.
He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna save this thing!"
Yeah. Stop! Never mind that it could crush me to death right here, shatter my pelvis. No.
I'm guessing this was somewhere in Albania.
Hey, man. Taking some cars, man. So, yeah,
He's
there
stolen. What do I get?
You can check this video out along with all of our other fine stories on our website, roundaboutshow.com. And you really should check this one out. It is pretty funny. Michelle, you're holding your head in your hand. Why?
I was just thinking about you in a meat suit.
Gaga.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
I'm glad you clarified that there for us, Ben.
Well,
I
better-
was a little worried there for a second.
Better than him spending 72 hours inside an egg.
I'm going to thankfully remain oblivious to all of this. And we're going to plug everyone. So, Eric Tritko.
Whoa.
Plugs. Rumblestrip.net.
Yes. Rumblestrip on Twitter.
Wow.
What else?
Whoa.
Creepy. How's that for
Stereo.
5.1 stereo surround sound?
2.1 maybe. What's going on?
Eventually, I've got 4 reviews I need to get done.
So you're right on target.
Yes, exactly. Stay on target.
We're too close.
Just hold them off for a few.
I've got to get my. I videoed the review of the Focus, but I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to end up writing that one. I have to get my Jetta review, the Jetta review, the Kia Optima, the Ford Focus, and I still need to do the Toyota Prius review.
You have really been in the middle of the market, haven't you?
I just looked at the chat. Sean and Erie says, "McLap dance, please."
So that's what I'm. Yeah, I'm loving
Would you like
it.
that chocolate or vanilla?
Do. I'm loving it.
Oh my!
So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Did you have fries with that?
Burger King wasn't it? Have it your way, right
Have it
away.
your way, yeah.
Right away. Anyway. So Rumblestrip on the Twitter, rumblestrip.net.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric. How'd you do on your MS walk? Did
Thank you
hit
for
your
asking.
goal?
Yeah, we did the MS Walk last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Great turnout. Mayor Dave Bing and his wife came out. So
Bing it and decide.
Yes. Turns out his sister-in-law had passed away from MS. So,
I didn't realize that.
So I raised $635, which exceeded my goal of $500.
Awesome.
All right.
And I may exceed my stretch goal of 1,000 because I'm in the running. Quicken Loans is doing a Twitter giveaway for like best tweet about something, or what would you do with $500 if we gave it to you from Quicken Loans? And I said in my tweet, I don't need the $500, but you're welcome to give it to my MS Walk. And they said, and I got a tweet back from them saying, you're entered, and that's a really good one. So
Cool.
I still may get my stretch goal of $1,000.
Oh, cool. I retweeted that one, too.
Stretch marks, goals. Very nice.
Yes.
Eric.
So yeah, it was great. It was a nice walk through Detroit, and it was a lot of fun. Really good turnout.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
No, that wasn't the Roab level up.
No.
But I think you deserve one.
Thank
and
you.
our,
Thank you.
fans who contributed
Yes.
deserve
Thank
one.
you for asking about that, Craig.
That's good. That's a nice level up. Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you.
Yeah. Michelle Naranjo, E-I-E-I-O, Naranjo was her name-o. If that's how the song
And Floor
goes.
calling me.
I thought
Okay,
you said
it's
your
gone. It
phone's
stopped.
never called. Nobody's called you, Michelle, and your desk phone is
That's like
never.
the third time my desk phone's rung, and I think I have voicemails on there. I can see it flashing at me, and I don't know how to get it.
Put a couple napkins napkins on top. It'll be fine. Auto by Tell. What's going on?
We actually joined the 21st century yesterday and started our Facebook fan page.
I liked you.
How do you like it?
I like that fan page.
Thank you.
I'm going on to the Facebook right now, and I'm going to search for AUTOBYTEL,
Yes, shush.
Automotive by Telephone. There it is. Did you do that graphic?
I did not.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm going to give it a like-a-roo, as everyone listening to this podcast should. Chris, get on that. You're on the Facebook.
I will. Yes, I am on Facebook.
Okay.
I actually sit there and read Facebook often and go, don't you people work?
And the answer is no. What are they all doing in Hines Park during the day when we're trying to shoot video reviews? Ben?
That's what I'd like
That's
to
what I want to know where
know.
all these people come from. Anyway.
But the real question, Michelle, is: are you on Friendaroo yet?
I am on Friendaroo. I was one of the original early adopters of Friendaroo.
Yeah.
Good.
It really took off after that.
Friendaroo me.
So what's going on with Auto by Tell, Michelle? You guys are relaunching the website. Doing all kinds of
Relaunching the
stuff.
site June 3rd. Working hard.
Okay. Taking care of business every day, as it were.
Yeah, as it were.
She works hard for the money.
So hard for it,
And
honey.
so you better treat me right.
Is it Michelle's doing the lyrics?
Chris Sawyer, we were able to con you back to coming on the show.
I
I'm not
enjoy it
certain
every
how.
time.
Ben gave you
I'm a
basket
hell
full
of a
money.
liar, too. But
iPad's got a polygraph.
I only show up when Eric's here.
Seems it's like that. You guys have got a little
I have a stalker.
I do.
on to it here,
That's right. And
So you're working on a new project
yes,
of your own.
thevirtualdriver.com.
And what does this entail?
Lots of hard work. Actually, it's going to be...
Are you using Blogger for the
GeoCities.
Angel Fire?
Actually, I'm going all the way back to eWorld. Ooh. You know, the original AOL for Mac.
The
I'm
owl.
going to type that in Alta Vista and see if I can find it.
Virtual driver.
Alta
Yeah.
Vista?
There is a site up on Squarespace at the moment. It's the prototype site that we're working on.
Oh, you're going through the Squarespace hell?
Yeah, we're going through Squarespace hell because it's it is what it is.
Steaming
We're
hot.
familiar with it. Is the deal right now? But,
As I tell Craig, still better than WordPress.
WordPress.
Well, it
was the
depends.
previous site.
It depends who's designing the site.
Right.
It's better to design, but not as good a blogging format. That's my position.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that. I will give you that. But we're working on it right now. We're going to do more than reviews. We'll do technology. We'll do just about anything for money. No,
Anything?
anything except
Lap
Nick
dance?
Lamp Dance. No, yeah, I knew you were going to.
Can you supersize that?
Yeah, supersize. Yeah, that's then a hefty teenager comes out of there. Oh Lord,
A hefty teenager, the verbiage there.
hefty.
With force flex, right?
Wimpy. Oh, sorry. But we hope to have that up in July.
Okay.
The earlier the better.
TheVirtualDriver.com.
TheVirtualDriver.com.
Now, who are you bringing together? Some well-known names in the business.
I don't know about well-known
From the B
names.
Squad, at least.
We're bringing in Al Vinecourt, who will have people just peeing themselves with laughter. Hopefully get sponsorship from Depends.
Well, he uses those. So,
He
yeah.
probably does.
And
He is old
don't
enough.
they make blood glucose meters, too?
Yes, exactly. And we hope to get sponsors from the Sheep Council of America, just because Al loves them in the biblical sense. We're Tom Lankard, who used to be the National Affairs editor for Auto Week. He was Jerry Brown's head of the Department of Transportation in California. He's a ex-motorcycle racer and a hell of a
Very
driver
nice.
on top of it all.
Yeah.
His wife, Ann Job, may be joining us occasionally. I'm going to be doing most of the work. Most because this is until we get advertising and things like that, this is going to be a non-pay site for those of us who work for it. So please. And Dan Brockstein is my tech guru, and he's been doing this since, oh God, when did the Earth
87,
cool?
really,
Yeah.
Well, great. TheVirtualDriver.com. And we've asked Vinokur on the show, and he said he would come on Roundabout. You're going to have to put the screws to them. Well, maybe not screw.
No,
Anyway,
every time I use the word screw around Al, he just gets really excited, and I have to calm him down.
I can't imagine him excited. But yes, Chris Sawyer, thank you again for coming on the show.
Enjoyed it.
Always a pleasure. Last but not least, we got to thank Colonel Slanders
Yay!
for doing the technical stuff here.
Absolutely.
Podcast. We always appreciate it, Ben. Thank you for your efforts. Anyway, wrapping things up, remember you can always watch Roundabout live every Friday evening starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 3:30 on the West Coast. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Autoline family of fine programs, including Autoline Detroit, Autoline After Hours, and, of course, 5 days a week, Autoline Daily. If you got a question or comment for us, please get in touch with us on our Google Voice number. The hotline you can call us on is 1559 ROAB 411 in numbers. That is 1559-762-2411. Give us a shout. We love to hear from you. Additionally, we are on Twitter, twitter.com/Roundabout Show, or Facebook. You can Facebook us. Predictably, it is facebook.com/Roundabout Show if you can't find it. Otherwise, just search. We are there. Shouldn't have any trouble. Give us a like, please. We want you to like us. Like early, like often. If you never want to miss an action-packed episode, and frankly, who wouldn't, subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or the Zune Marketplace, if you have a Microsoft Zune, right?
It still exists.
Yes, it does. And anyway, thanks to all of you out there listening. Please join us again next week as we circle the roundabout. We will talk to you then.
Bye-bye.
We're dead.
You hadn't done the bye-bye in a while.
Oh. What did you run for the thing?
Wish I were dead.
Stephen Ewing made it in the program. And that's the show, folks.
Now.
Okie dokie.
Thanks for helping us out the last minute, Michelle.
Yeah, you
No
weren't
problem.
scheduled.
I've got to run down to the second floor. I have a meeting now.
Okay.
I have to do work.
What do
I
you
mean,
mean?
it's only 5:30.
Bull roar.
It's only 5:30, and I have a meeting now.
Yeah, who
Oh,
scheduled a
God.
meeting for
I've been here some
5:30 on a
nights till
Friday?
like 9 and 10 o'clock at night, but you know how that is.
That's a load of
Yes.
codswallop.
God, swallow.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks,
we really
Michelle.
appreciate you coming in
No
a
problem. I
pinch.
enjoyed it.
She's
as
on the
always.
West Coast, Gorski. It's only 5:30.
Mwah. We'll see you next 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's
All
a
right.
Naran
Everyone's
Fest.
going to get sick of me.
It's like
Yay!
it's like Shrimp Lobster Fest, but Naran Fest. We're the Roundabout Lobster.
Oh, bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Wait, isn't that a B-52 song?
I have no idea.
Roundabout Lobster? No, not quite
Rock lobster.
And we've got to thank our chatters. Not many of them, but Gorski C made it in. Thank you, Gorski. We had Rich earlier, but he had to bail out, I guess. Narangelina.
Angelina.
Yeah, Gorski, thanks. We had Michelle. She's gone now. Mood Monster. The Venerable Mud made it again. He had nothing to do on his Friday evening, so he squandered it with us. Thank you. New chatter, Nan or Nan, I'm not sure. It's N-A-N. If
She's
it's non-
Michelle's friend.
Is it?
Yeah.
If it's non-bread, what is it? That's what I always ask about Indian cuisine.
Substitute. It's a bread substitute.
Or meat.
It's like parquet.
Yes. It is someday do we make up in the back.
Non-bread. And of course, we have Sean in Erie, who is starting to become quite a regular. I'm impressed. We've won over another fan, singular.
Not enough fiber. He's a regular.
Yeah.
It's all bound up.
Yeah. It's like got a bird's nest in there. It's just colonic hatchery or something. So we thank you guys for chatting. We thank all the live listeners and viewers, courtesy of Ustream.
And the dead ones, too.
You got to put the screws to Vinicor. We want him on this program.
Absolutely. Get him and me on, and you won't have any...
We won't have a show because it'll
No,
be 2 hours
it'll
of
be
bickering.
the two of us
the
taking,
Bickersons. Yeah.
taking over.
Perhaps we'll have to do that.
That sounds like a winner.
And we'll have to have Eric.
Eric the Tritco.
Absolutely.
He's the original recipe Tritco.
The original recipe trip, not the crunchy
Extra
or the
crispy.
extra crispy.
Well, if it's not summertime yet, he hasn't been out and working in the yard. Burned.
It hasn't stopped raining enough to go outside.
That's
work in the
right.
yard.
That's right. I haven't got my farmer's tan yet. Come on, jeez.
That's a show, folks.
That is a show.
Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. More great roundabout stuff. Hilarity. And, yeah. It was a good show. Good night, everyone. Toodles.
Am I supposed to stop the feed now?
Yes, I guess. We're done, aren't we? What are you doing with Chiny Chat?
No, I was gonna, since we were on the topic of chicken, I was gonna show Chris the artwork from last week.
Oh,